He walked into the room and saw his son with a stomachache. When he discovered the reason, Gregory Harrison came home after another exhausting day of meetings and tight deadlines, expecting to find the usual peace and quiet. But the strange silence that hung over the house put him on alert. That's when he heard a soft moan coming from his son's room. Gregory ran up the stairs and pushed open the door to Tyler's room. The scene he found made him stop in the doorway. His 8-year-old son was curled up on the bed, holding his stomach with both tiny hands, his face twisted in pain and tears streaming down his cheeks. "Tyler, what happened?" Gregory rushed to the bed, sitting down next to the boy. "Daddy, it hurts so much," Tyler whispered between sobs. Gregory touched his son's forehead, checking for a fever. His skin was normal, but the boy was still writhing. "We're going to the hospital right now," Gregory said, already getting up to grab his car keys. "No, Daddy." "You don't have to." Tyler grabbed his father's arm with surprising strength for a child his age. "It'll go away. It always does." "What do you mean it always does? How long have you been feeling this pain?" Tyler looked away, biting his lower lip. Gregory felt his heart race. As a father, he should have known if his son was sick. How had he not noticed anything before? "Tyler, answer Daddy. How long has this been going on?" "A few weeks," the boy mumbled, still avoiding his father's gaze. Gregory ran his hands through his hair, feeling a mix of worry and guilt. He had been so busy with work that he hadn't noticed something was wrong with his only son. "Where's Grandma Martha?" Gregory asked, looking for his mother, who always took care of Tyler while he was away. "She went to the pharmacy to get medicine for her headache," Tyler replied, still writhing. Gregory stood there, feeling completely lost. He didn't know what to do to ease his son's suffering. He grabbed his phone and called his mother. "Mom, did you know Tyler has a stomachache?" On the other end of the line, there was a long silence. "Mom?" "Son, I'm on my way back now. We'll talk when I get there." The tone of Mrs. Martha's voice made Gregory even more worried. There was something he didn't know. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, go ahead and hit like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now, continuing. When Mrs. Martha got home, she found Gregory sitting beside Tyler's bed. The boy had finally fallen asleep after the pain subsided. "Mom, what's going on? Why were you acting strange on the phone?" Mrs. Martha, a 68-year-old woman with always neatly styled gray hair, sighed deeply before answering. "Gregory, I need to tell you something. Tyler has been having these pains for almost 2 months." "2 months? And you didn't tell me anything?" "He made me promise not to tell you, Mrs. Martha said, looking at her sleeping grandson. "He said you already have too many worries at work." Gregory felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. His 8-year-old son was protecting him, hiding his own pain so as not to worry him. "But Mom, that's absurd. He's just a child." "That's exactly it, Gregory. He's a child who's suffering and doesn't want to bother his father." "What did the doctors say?" Mrs. Martha lowered her head. "We haven't gone to the doctor yet." "What do you mean you haven't gone to the doctor, Mom, for heaven's sake? Because every time I suggested taking him, he would start crying and say he didn't want to waste Daddy's money." Gregory leaned his head against the wall, feeling the weight of the responsibility he had neglected. In the past few months, since his divorce from Heather, he had thrown himself head-first into work. It was easier to deal with spreadsheets and meetings than to face the emptiness of the house and the absence of his ex-wife. "Tomorrow morning we're going to the pediatrician," said Gregory, determined. "Gregory, there's one more thing," Mrs. Martha hesitated. "I've noticed that Tyler's pains always show up when he gets really worried or sad." "What do you mean?" "Last week, when you said you were going on a business trip, he had a really bad episode. And the week before, when Heather called saying she couldn't come pick him up for the weekend like she promised, he was in pain all night." Gregory looked at his son sleeping, his face still marked by dried tears. For the first time in months, he really looked at Tyler. The boy was thinner, had dark circles that weren't there before, and slept in a fetal position, as if protecting himself from something. The next morning, Gregory cancelled all his meetings and took Tyler to the pediatrician. Dr. Lawrence Miller, an experienced doctor who had known the family for years, examined the boy carefully. Gregory, from a physical standpoint, Tyler is healthy, said the doctor after speaking privately with Gregory. All the tests are normal, but I suspect we're dealing with something emotional. What do you mean? Abdominal pains without an obvious physical cause are very common in children going through emotional stress. Tyler told me his parents recently separated. Gregory nodded, feeling the guilt grow even more. Doctor, but how can an 8-year-old develop this? Gregory, children feel everything happening around them. They just don't know how to express those emotions properly. Their body ends up being the outlet. And what do I do? First, you both need psychological support, both Tyler and you. Second, the boy needs stability and attention. He told me he misses his father a lot. Gregory left the office carrying Tyler in his arms, even though the boy was already too big for that. For the first time in a long while, he really looked into his son's eyes. Tyler, Daddy is here now. You don't have to hide anything from me, okay? Daddy, I don't want you to be sad because of me. Son, you will never be a problem for me. You are the most important thing in my life. Tyler hugged his father tightly, as if wanting to make sure he wasn't leaving. That night, Gregory decided to sleep in Tyler's room. Around 3 in the morning, the boy started tossing in bed, moaning softly. Tyler, does it hurt? Daddy, I dreamed about Mom, said Tyler, his voice choked. I dreamed she had the same pain I have. Gregory sat on the bed, pulling his son into his lap. Why did you dream that? Because before she left, she always kept her hand on her belly just like I do, and she cried a lot. Gregory felt a chill run down his spine. Heather had indeed developed severe anxiety in the last months of their marriage, but he was so focused on work that he didn't pay enough attention. She complained of stomach pains, insomnia, irritability, but he always chalked it up to everyday stress. Son, Mommy was going through a tough time, but that has nothing to do with you. But Daddy, what if I end up like her? What if I get so sad that I have to leave too? Gregory held his son's face in both hands. Tyler, look at me. You will never have to leave. Daddy will always take care of you. Promise? I promise. But even with the promise, Gregory could see the fear in his son's eyes. A fear that an 8-year-old should never have to feel. The following week, Gregory started the process of finding a child therapist. Dr. Patricia Collins was recommended by the pediatrician as one of the best specialists for children going through parental separation. During the first session, Gregory accompanied Tyler. The therapist, a middle-aged woman with a motherly demeanor, quickly made the boy feel at ease. Tyler, can you tell me how it feels when your tummy hurts? It's like there's a bug inside making a mess, replied Tyler, playing with a toy car. And when does this bug show up? When I get scared. Scared of what? Tyler stopped playing and looked at Gregory. Can I tell? Of course, son. Scared of being alone. Scared that Dad will leave like Mom did. Scared that I did something wrong. Gregory had to hold back his tears. How had he not noticed that his son was carrying all these fears alone? After the appointment, Dr. Patricia talked with Gregory in private. Gregory, Tyler is showing very intense separation anxiety. He's constantly in a state of alert, waiting for you to leave too. But I never said I was leaving. To a child, actions speak louder than words. He notices your constant absences, your worries, your stress, and he interprets these as signs that he might lose you too. What can I do to help him? First, routine stability. Second, real emotional presence, not just physical. And third, we need to work on his anxiety gradually. Gregory left the appointment with a list of changes he needed to make in his and Tyler's lives. For the first time, he understood that being a father went far beyond paying the bills and making sure his son had everything materially. The following weekend, Gregory cancelled a work commitment to stay with Tyler. They went to Riverfront Park, where they used to go when Tyler was younger, and Heather still lived with them. Dad, do you remember when we used to come here with Mom? I do remember, son. Why couldn't you keep loving each other? The question caught Gregory off guard. How do you explain to a child that sometimes love isn't enough to keep a marriage together? Tyler, sometimes adults grow in different directions. That doesn't mean we stop loving you kids. But if you couldn't keep loving each other, how will I know if you'll keep loving me? Gregory stopped pushing the swing Tyler was on. Son, the love between parents and children is different. It's a love that never ends no matter what happens. Even if I do something really wrong? Even then. Even if I get sick? Even then. Even if I grow up and become an adult? Especially when you grow up and become an adult. Tyler smiled for the first time in weeks, a genuine smile that made Gregory realize how much he missed his son's joy. Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, feel free to hit like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us who are just starting out. Now, continuing. But the peace didn't last long. The following Wednesday, Gregory was working from home when he heard the doorbell ring. It was Natalie, his girlfriend of 3 months, a 32-year-old woman he'd met through co-workers. "Hey, love. I thought I'd surprise you and cook dinner for you both," said Natalie, carrying grocery bags. Gregory had told her about Tyler's situation, and she had been understanding. But when Tyler came down the stairs and saw Natalie in the kitchen, his expression changed completely. "Hey, Tyler, I brought ingredients to make your favorite dish," said Natalie, smiling. Tyler didn't answer. He just stood at the kitchen entrance, watching the scene. "Tyler, aren't you going to say hi to Natalie?" asked Gregory. "Hi," muttered Tyler, before running upstairs to his room. Gregory followed his son and found him lying on the bed, holding his tummy. "Son, is it hurting again? Dad, is she going to move in here?" "Why are you asking that?" "Because if she moves in, you won't need me anymore." Gregory sat on the bed, running his hand through Tyler's hair. "Tyler, no one will ever replace you in my life. Do you understand that? But Mum said you found someone else because I wasn't enough." Gregory felt anger rise. Heather had no right to put those ideas in Tyler's head. "Tyler, Mum was wrong to say that. I found someone else because your mum and I couldn't live together anymore. That has nothing to do with you. So why do I feel like I'm going to throw up when she's here?" Gregory didn't know what to answer. He went downstairs to the kitchen and found Natalie preparing dinner. "Natalie, I don't think this is a good time for you to be here." "Why? What happened?" "Tyler is going through a really tough time. He needs time to adjust." "Gregory, I understand he's hurting, but you can't let an 8-year-old control our relationship. It's not about control. It's about him feeling safe. And when will he feel safe? When can I be part of your lives?" Gregory looked toward the stairs, where he could hear Tyler crying in his room. "I don't know, Natalie. Maybe we need to take things slower." Natalie stopped cooking and turned to Gregory. "Gregory, I have something to tell you. I was waiting for the right moment, but maybe it's better you know now." "What is it?" "I'm pregnant." Gregory felt the world spin. An unplanned pregnancy in the middle of the crisis with Tyler, with the divorce still fresh in his memory. "Are you sure?" "I took 3 tests. I'm 6 weeks along." At that moment, they heard a crash from upstairs. Gregory ran up and found Tyler lying on the bathroom floor, pale as a sheet. "Tyler!" Gregory scooped his son into his arms. "Daddy!" "I heard, is she going to have a baby?" Tyler whispered. "Tyler, how did you hear?" "I came down to apologize and heard you talking." Gregory carried Tyler to bed, but this time the pain was different, more intense, accompanied by nausea and trembling. "Daddy, are you going to give me away when the baby is born?" "Tyler, for heaven's sake, why do you think these things? Because now you're going to have a child with her. A real child, and I'm just your ex-wife's son." Gregory hugged Tyler tightly. "You are my real son. The first, the most important. Nothing and no one will change that." But Tyler wouldn't stop shaking. Gregory called Dr. Patricia Collins, who advised taking him to the emergency room immediately. At Oakwood Medical Center, after several hours of tests, the doctors confirmed that Tyler was physically fine. But the anxiety attack had been so intense that it caused severe physical symptoms. "Mr. Harrison, we need to talk," said the attending physician. "Tyler is showing signs of severe anxiety. It's important that he has psychiatric support in addition to psychological care. Psychiatric? But he's only 8. Mr. Harrison, anxiety disorders can appear at any age, and if we don't treat them properly, it can develop into something more serious. Gregory spent the night at the hospital with Tyler. The boy slept sedated, but Gregory couldn't get a wink of sleep. He kept thinking about all the signs he had ignored, all the times he prioritized work, all the missed opportunities to be present in his son's life. The next day when they got home, Natalie was waiting for them in the living room. "Gregory, I've thought a lot about last night. Maybe it's best if I step back for a while." "Natalie?" "No, let me speak. I want to be with you, but I can't compete with Tyler's well-being. He needs you right now. And the baby?" "The baby will have a father and mother who love him, but Tyler only has you right now, and he's suffering." Tyler, who was in Gregory's lap, looked at Natalie with eyes still swollen from all the crying. "Are you leaving because of me?" Tyler asked. "No, Tyler. I'm stepping back because you need to get better, and when you're doing better, we'll talk again." "But what about the baby?" "The baby will meet you when you're both ready." After Heather left, Tyler was quiet for a long time. "Dad, did I make her go away?" "No, son. She made an adult decision to help you feel better. But now you're going to be sad." "Tyler, my happiness doesn't depend on having a girlfriend. My happiness depends on you being okay." That night, Gregory made a decision that would change their lives. He called his boss and asked for an indefinite medical leave. "Gregory, are you sure? The company is in the middle of the most important project of the year. I'm sure my son needs me right now. But what about your career?" "My career can wait. My son can't." When Gregory told Tyler he was going to stay home to take care of him, the boy couldn't believe it. "Dad, but what about your important job?" "There's no job more important than taking care of you." "But what if you lose your job?" "Tyler, if I lose my job, I'll find another one. But if I lose you, there's no replacement." For the first time in months, Tyler slept through the night without a stomachache. The first few days were hard. Gregory didn't know how to fill all the time with Tyler without falling into the old routine of working from home. But gradually they created a new dynamic. Gregory started cooking meals together with Tyler. The boy turned out to be an excellent helper in the kitchen, and Gregory discovered that important conversations happened naturally while they prepared food. "Dad, do you think Mom is okay?" "Why do you ask that, son?" "Because sometimes I have nightmares that she's alone and sad." "Do you want to call her?" Tyler thought for a moment. "Maybe." Gregory helped Tyler call Heather. The conversation was brief but important. Heather managed to convey to Tyler that she was fine, that she had gotten professional help, and that the separation wasn't his fault. "Tyler, Mom and Dad messed up a lot of things, but you weren't one of those mistakes. You were the best thing that ever happened in our lives," Heather said on the phone. After the call, Tyler was calmer, but the stomachaches still appeared, especially when something made him anxious. One morning, Gregory found several drawings hidden under Tyler's bed. They were family drawings, some with the 3 of them together, others with Tyler alone in the middle of a blank page, and still others with Gregory leaving carrying a suitcase. "Tyler, can I talk to you about these drawings?" Tyler turned red, as if he had been caught doing something wrong. "You shouldn't have gone through my stuff. Son, I wasn't going through them. They fell out when I was making your bed." Tyler hung his head. "They're just silly drawings." "They're not silly. They show what you're feeling, and that's important." Gregory sat on the floor next to Tyler and spread the drawings out between them. "This one here, where you drew yourself alone. When do you feel like that? When you're on your phone for a long time, or when you stare off into the distance with a sad face?" Gregory looked at the drawing where he was carrying a suitcase. "And this one? It's my biggest fear, that one day you'll leave and not come back." "Tyler, can I make you a promise?" The boy nodded. "I promise that every time I leave the house, I'll tell you exactly where I'm going and what time I'll be back, and I promise I'll always come back." "Even if it's for work? Even if it's for work? Even if it's to meet Heather?" "Even if it's to meet Heather." Tyler hugged Gregory. "Dad, do you think one day my stomach will stop hurting? I think so, son. But we need to work together to make that happen. From that day on, Gregory established a clear routine with Tyler. They would wake up together, have breakfast talking about the day's plans, Tyler would go to school, and Gregory would do activities that could be paused at any moment. When Tyler came back from school, they would spend the afternoon together, doing homework, playing, talking. Gregory discovered that his son was much more interesting and intelligent than he had imagined. "Dad, at school the teacher asked what our parents did for work. And what did you say?" "I said my dad works taking care of me." Gregory laughed. "And did the teacher think that was strange?" "She said it was the most important job in the world." During one of the sessions with Dr. Patricia, she suggested that Gregory also do individual therapy. "Gregory, you've been dealing with a lot of changes, divorce, new single parenting, work pressures. It's important to take care of your mental health too." "But I'm fine. My priority is Tyler." "And how are you going to take good care of him if you're not okay?" Gregory started doing individual therapy once a week. In the first sessions, it was hard to admit that he also needed help. "Gregory, when was the last time you allowed yourself to feel your own emotions about the divorce?" the therapist asked. "I don't have time to dwell on that, but unprocessed emotions have a way of showing up. Maybe part of Tyler's anxiety is a reflection of your own unresolved anxiety." Gregory began to realize that he was always on high alert, always worried about something. It was as if he had spent so long on autopilot that he forgot how to relax. One night, Tyler had a particularly intense nightmare and woke up with a stomachache. "Dad, I dreamed you were turning into a different person." "What do you mean?" "You were becoming like the grandpa that Grandma always talks about." Gregory felt a chill. Mrs. Martha always commented that he was repeating his own father's patterns: workaholic, absent, emotionally distant. "Tyler, what was I like in the dream?" "You wouldn't look me in the eyes. And when I talked to you, you just said, 'uh-huh,' without stopping messing with your phone." Gregory realized this had happened many times in real life. "Son, in the dream was I able to change?" "Yes, but only when you noticed I was disappearing." "Disappearing how?" "I would become transparent until you couldn't see me anymore." Gregory hugged Tyler, understanding that his son's dream was a reflection of his real fears: being ignored, being invisible, not being a priority in his father's life. The next day, Gregory had a difficult conversation with Mrs. Martha. "Mom, Tyler told me he dreamed I was becoming like Grandpa. What do you always say about my father?" Mrs. Martha sighed. "Gregory, your father was a good man, but he thought being a good dad meant just working to support the family. He never understood that children need presence, not just provision. Do you think I'm repeating his mistakes? You were, but now you're changing, and that makes all the difference." "How do you know?" "Because your father never had the humility to stop and realize he was messing up. You did." Dear listener, if you're enjoying the story, go ahead and leave a like and especially subscribe to the channel. It really helps us beginners. Now continuing. A few weeks later, Gregory received an unexpected call from Heather. "Gregory, I need to talk to you. It's about Tyler." "What about Tyler?" "The therapist I'm seeing for my sessions said it would be good for me to spend more time with him, so he can see that I'm okay." Gregory was silent. The idea of Heather coming back into Tyler's routine made him nervous. "Gregory, are you still there?" "I am. It's just that Tyler is in a delicate process right now. I don't know if it's the right time for changes." "I understand your concern. But he also needs to see that his mother hasn't disappeared from his life." Gregory talked to Dr. Patricia about the situation. "Gregory, the mother's presence can be beneficial, as long as it's gradual and consistent. Tyler needs to rebuild trust in emotional bonds. But what if he has more episodes? It's possible he'll feel anxious at first, but hiding his mother from him isn't healthy in the long run either." Gregory decided to talk to Tyler about the possibility of Heather visiting them. "Son, how would you feel if your mom came over for lunch on Sunday?" Tyler stopped playing and looked at Gregory with a serious expression. "Is she going to leave again afterward?" "Yes, but she promised she'll keep visiting regularly." "And if she promises and doesn't follow through like last time?" Gregory remembered that Heather had cancelled several visits with Tyler in the first few months after the separation. "Tyler, what if we start slow? She comes for lunch, and if you feel good about it, we can set up another meeting. And if I don't feel good, then we'll talk about what you felt and decide together what to do." Tyler thought for a long time. "Okay, but will you stay with me?" "I'll stay with you." On Sunday, Heather arrived right on time for lunch. Gregory noticed she seemed different, calmer, more centered. The therapy seemed to be helping. Tyler was shy at first, but gradually he opened up. They talked about school, about Tyler's drawings, about the changes in his routine. "Tyler, do you want to tell me about the stomach aches?" Heather asked. Tyler looked at Gregory, who nodded encouragingly. "Mom, sometimes my stomach hurts when I get scared." "Scared of what?" "Scared that the people I love will leave and not come back." Heather held Tyler's hand. "Son, when Mom left, it wasn't because she stopped loving you. It was because Mom was very emotionally sick and needed to take care of herself. But why didn't you take me with you? Because when someone is emotionally sick, they can't take good care of the people they love. It was better for you to stay with your dad. And are you better now?" "I'm getting better. I'm still getting treatment. But now I can take care of myself and have time for you too." After lunch, while Tyler was playing in the backyard, Gregory and Heather talked. "Heather, can you explain something to me? Tyler said you also had stomach aches before you left." Heather lowered her head. "Gregory, I developed a severe anxiety disorder in the last few months of our marriage. I had panic attacks, insomnia, psychosomatic pains, and you were so distant that I felt completely alone. Why did you never tell me? I tried several times, but you always said it was normal stress, that it would pass." Gregory vaguely remembered Heather complaining about pains, sleepless nights, irritability, but he always put it down to being tired or PMS. "Heather, I'm so sorry. I should have paid more attention." "Gregory, there's no point in blaming yourself now. What matters is that we don't repeat the mistakes with Tyler." "Do you think he inherited our anxiety?" "I think he learned to somatize emotions by watching us. Kids learn more from what they see than from what we tell them." After Heather left, Tyler was quiet for a while. "Dad, can I ask you something?" "Sure. Are you and Mom going to live together again?" Gregory braced himself for a tough question. "No, son, we get along now, but as friends and as your parents, not as husband and wife." "Can I be sad about that?" "Of course you can. It's normal to feel sad when things change. But if I'm sad, will my stomach hurt?" "Maybe a little. But now you know you can tell me when you're sad, and we can talk about those feelings." "And does talking make the pain go away?" "Talking helps a lot. And over time, you'll learn other ways to handle sadness without it turning into physical pain." That night, Tyler had a minor pain episode, but it was different from before. He was able to explain to Gregory exactly what he was feeling, sadness that the family wouldn't go back to the way it was, but also relief at being sure it wasn't his fault. In the following weeks, Tyler began to improve gradually. The pains became less frequent and less intense. He also started expressing his emotions better with words instead of somatizing them. One day, Gregory received a call from Tyler's school. "Mr. Gregory, we'd like to talk about Tyler." Gregory felt his heart race, imagining something had happened. "Is he okay?" "He is, actually. We want to talk about a significant improvement we've noticed in him." Gregory went to the school and spoke with the teacher and the guidance counselor. "Mr. Gregory, in the last few weeks, Tyler has been much more participatory, more sociable. He started playing with classmates again, which he had stopped doing a few months ago." "And his academic performance?" "That's improved a lot too. He was having trouble concentrating, but now he can focus on activities normally." "Did you notice anything else?" "Yes. He talks a lot about the activities he does with you. It's clear he's feeling more secure and loved." Gregory left the school with his chest full of pride and relief. The changes he'd made in his life were paying off. That afternoon, when Tyler came home from school, Gregory had a surprise for him. "Tyler, how about we do a special activity today?" "What kind of activity?" "You pick. It can be anything you want to do with me." Tyler thought for a moment. Can I really pick anything? Anything. I want you to teach me how to make that cake Grandma used to make when you were little. Gregory smiled. Mrs. Martha always made a carrot cake with chocolate frosting. That was Gregory's childhood favorite. Let's call Grandma and ask for the recipe. They spent the whole afternoon cooking together. Tyler proved to be a dedicated assistant, following every instruction carefully. When the cake was ready, they called Grandma Martha to try it. It tastes just like mine, said Grandma Martha, with tears in her eyes. Grandma, why are you crying? Asked Tyler. Because I'm seeing my grandson and my son happy together. That's the most beautiful thing in the world. That night, Tyler fell asleep without any stomach pain, and for the first time in months, Gregory was also able to relax completely. A few weeks later, Heather got in touch with Gregory. Gregory, how are you two doing? We're good. Tyler is much better. That's great. I've been thinking about you guys a lot. And how are you? I'm okay. The pregnancy is going well. I'm 14 weeks along. Heather, I need to apologize. Why? For letting our situation affect Tyler. I should have handled all this better. Gregory, you did the best you could at the time, and you made the right choice by prioritizing your son. And now? How would you like things to be? I'd like to talk to both of you if Tyler is ready. Gregory talked to Tyler about the possibility of meeting Heather. Dad, is she still pregnant? Yes, she is. And the baby will still be my brother. Half-brother, if you want that. Tyler thought for a moment. Can I talk to her without getting a stomachache? I don't know, son, but if it hurts, we can stop the conversation, and you can explain to me what you're feeling. Okay, but first, I want to draw something for her. Tyler spent the afternoon drawing. When he finished, he showed Gregory. It was a drawing of himself, Gregory, Heather, and a baby, all holding hands, but with Tyler standing close to Gregory. Tyler, does this drawing show how you wish things were? It shows I understand the baby is going to be part of our family, but that I'm still important to you. You'll always be important to me. I know that now. The following weekend, Natalie came to visit them. She was visibly pregnant, with a small belly that Tyler looked at curiously. Natalie, I made a drawing for you, Tyler said, handing her the paper. Natalie looked at the drawing and smiled. Tyler, is this how you imagine our family? That's how I hope it'll be. Everyone together, but with no one being less important. I hope it'll be like that too. Natalie, can I ask you something about the baby? Sure. When he's born, are you going to love him more than you like me? Natalie knelt down to Tyler's level. Tyler, love isn't a competition. When someone loves a person, it doesn't reduce the love they feel for others. It's like the heart is elastic and can grow to fit more love. Like Dad, who loves me and loves you and the baby. Exactly like that. Tyler seemed satisfied with the answer. And can you teach me things about babies? 'Cause I've never had a brother. Yes, I can. And you can teach me things about being an older child. That afternoon, for the first time since he found out about the pregnancy, Tyler didn't have any stomachache in Natalie's presence. In the following months, Gregory, Tyler, and Natalie built a new family dynamic. Gregory learned to balance time between his son, his girlfriend, and himself. Tyler learned it was possible to have a different family from the original one, without that meaning less love or security. Heather's visits also became regular. Tyler now had 2 homes, the main one with Gregory, and every other weekend at Heather's new place. One day, during a session with Dr. Patricia, Tyler made an important revelation. Doctor, it's been over a month since my stomach hurt. And how do you feel about that? I feel normal, like I'm a normal kid. Tyler, you've always been a normal kid. You were just going through a tough time. Doctor, can I tell you a secret? Sure. Sometimes I still get sad that my parents don't live together, but now I know it's normal to be sad sometimes. And that being sad doesn't mean something bad is going to happen. Dr. Patricia smiled. Tyler, that shows you're much more emotionally mature. What does emotionally mature mean? It means you're learning to understand and handle your feelings in a healthy way. When they left the appointment, Tyler and Gregory stopped by Sunny Scoop's Creamery, the ice cream shop they used to go to before the separation. "Dad, do you remember when we'd come here, and I always asked for the biggest ice cream?" "I remember." "Can I ask for the biggest ice cream now without getting a stomachache afterwards?" Gregory laughed. "Sure you can, son, but maybe it's better to start with a medium one so you don't actually get sick." They laughed together, and Gregory realized it had been a long time since he'd heard Tyler laugh that carefree way. On the way back home, Tyler made an observation that deeply touched Gregory. "Dad, did you know that now, when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I feel is wanting to see you?" "I didn't know, and before, what did you feel?" "Before, I was afraid that you had gone away during the night. And now I know you'll always be there when I wake up. Even if you leave, you always come back." Gregory stopped the car and hugged Tyler. "You're right, son, I'll always be there for you." That night, Gregory reflected on the whole journey they had been through. He had missed some professional opportunities by taking leave, but he had gained something far more valuable: his son's trust and emotional well-being. A few weeks later, Gregory received a call from work offering a gradual return proposal, part-time, with the possibility of remote work. "Tyler, how would you feel if Daddy went back to work a little, part-time from home?" "You're not going to travel?" "I'm not going to travel, and when I have meetings, they'll be online, right here at home." "And will you still be able to pick me up from school?" "Yes, I will." "Then it's okay. You like working, don't you?" "Yes, I do. But I like being your dad much more." "Daddy, you can be both. You can work and be my dad at the same time." Gregory smiled, realizing that Tyler had matured a lot during those months. On the day Gregory returned to work part-time, Tyler insisted on preparing a special breakfast to wish his dad good luck. "Daddy, if you need to stop working to take care of me again, will you?" "Yes, I will. But now I know better how to balance the two things. And if I get a stomachache again?" "If you get a stomachache, we'll talk about what you're feeling, and I'll help you deal with those feelings, even if it's in the middle of an important meeting, even if it's in the middle of the most important meeting of my life." Tyler hugged Gregory. "Daddy, I don't think I'll get a stomachache again, but it's good to know you'd stop everything to take care of me." That's what parents are for, son. A few months later, Mia, Tyler's sister, was born. Contrary to all fears, Tyler welcomed his sister with affection and curiosity. "Daddy, she's so tiny," said Tyler, watching Mia in Heather's arms. "You were like that when you were born too." "And did you take care of me the same way you'll take care of her?" "Yes, I did, and I'll keep taking care of you just the same." Tyler became a protective and caring older brother. He helped with small tasks, sang to Mia when she cried, and always made sure to include her in his games. One day when Mia was 6 months old, Tyler made an observation that moved all the adults. "Daddy, have you noticed that Mia never cries when I'm around?" "Yes, I have. I think it's because she knows I won't let anything bad happen to her." "And how does she know that?" "Because I know you won't let anything bad happen to me, so I can do the same for her." Gregory realized that Tyler had learned about safety and protection through the relationship they had built together. The boy was passing on what he had received. At school, Tyler also flourished. His grades improved, he made new friends, and he became a confident and happy child. At a parent-teacher meeting, the teacher commented to Gregory, "Mr. Harrison, Tyler has completely transformed. He is much more mature, responsible, and empathetic with his classmates." "What do you mean by empathetic?" "Last week, a little classmate was crying because his parents were separating. Tyler went up to him and said, 'I know how you feel, my parents separated too, but you know what I found out? They still love me just the same. They just live in different houses.'" It was very touching. Gregory smiled, proud to see how Tyler was using his own experience to help others. At Mia's first birthday party, the whole family gathered: Gregory, Tyler, Heather, Mia, Mrs. Martha, and Grandma Martha. It was a non-traditional family setup, but functional and full of love. "Tyler, are you happy?" Heather asked her son. "Yes, Mom. Sometimes I still get sad when I think about how things were before. But now I know that families can have different ways of being happy. And your stomach? It doesn't hurt anymore. When I feel sad or worried, I talk to Daddy or you or Grandma, and by talking, the sadness goes away without turning into pain. Heather looked at Gregory with gratitude in her eyes. Both knew they could have lost Tyler to anxiety and depression if Gregory hadn't made the brave decision to prioritize his son above everything else. 2 years later, Tyler, now 10 years old, wrote an essay at school about family that deeply moved everyone. The essay read, "My family is different from my classmates' families. My mom and my dad don't live together. My dad has a girlfriend who is also the mom of my little sister. Some people think this is weird, but I learned that family isn't about living in the same house. It's about loving and taking care of each other. When I was younger, I thought that if my parents didn't live together, they didn't love me anymore. That made me very sad, and I got stomach aches. My dad found out I was suffering and dropped everything to take care of me. He taught me that love isn't measured by the amount of time people spend together, but by the quality of that time. Today I have a big family. I have my dad, my mom, my stepmom, my sister, and my grandma. They all love me, and I love all of them. I learned that having a different family doesn't mean having a worse family. It just means having a unique family just like me." When Gregory read the essay, he cried, not from sadness, but from joy and pride. Tyler had become a resilient, empathetic, and wise child. At the 4th grade graduation, Tyler was chosen to make a speech representing the class. Part of the speech was dedicated to the parents. "I want to thank our parents who are here today, especially those who had the courage to change when they saw they needed to change. My dad taught me that being strong doesn't mean not feeling fear or sadness. Being strong means feeling those emotions and still not giving up on the people you love." Gregory was in the audience with Heather, Mia in his lap, and Natalie beside him. Everyone cried during Tyler's speech. After the ceremony, a mother approached Gregory. "Mr. Gregory, my son told me about your story. I wanted to thank you." "Thank me for what?" "Because your attitude inspired my husband to also rethink his priorities. He was making the same mistakes you made in the beginning. But when he found out how you changed your life for Tyler, he decided to do the same for our son." Gregory realized their journey had inspired other families. The courage to prioritize Tyler had created a positive multiplier effect. That night, after all the guests had left, Gregory and Tyler stayed up talking alone. "Dad, do you regret quitting your job to take care of me?" "Tyler, it was the best decision I ever made in my life. Even though you missed out on some opportunities." "Son, I didn't miss out on opportunities. I gained the most important opportunity, to be the father you needed." "And what if you hadn't done it?" Gregory thought about the question for a moment. "If I hadn't done it, maybe I would have gotten a promotion, more money, more professional recognition. But I would have lost you, and nothing in the world is worth more than you." Tyler hugged Gregory tightly. "Dad, I love you. I love you too, son, more than anything in this world." That night, Tyler slept peacefully, without any stomach aches. It had been over 2 years since the pains had completely disappeared. Gregory also slept in peace, knowing he had made the right choices. The next day, Gregory woke up to Tyler making breakfast for the whole family. It was Mrs. Martha's birthday, and Tyler had organized a surprise. "Grandma, this breakfast is to thank you for taking care of me when Dad didn't know how to do it right," said Tyler, serving coffee to his grandmother, Mrs. Martha hugged her grandson with tears in her eyes. "Tyler, seeing you two happy is the best gift I could ever get." During breakfast, Mia took her first steps, walking straight towards Tyler. Everyone applauded, moved. "Daddy, did you see? She came straight toward me," said Tyler, picking up his sister. "I did, son. She knows you're the big brother who will always protect her." "Like you protect me?" "Like I protect you." Tyler spun around with Mia in his arms, both of them laughing. Gregory watched the scene and realized he had raised not just a happy child, but a young man who knew how to love and care for others. Natalie approached Gregory. "Are you proud?" "I'm more than proud. I'm grateful. Grateful for what? Grateful that Tyler gave me the chance to be a better father. Grateful that you understood he needed time. Grateful that Heather came back into his life. Grateful that my mum supported me. Grateful for all the second chances life has given us. That afternoon, Gregory received a call from work offering a major promotion. Gregory, we know you have family priorities. This position allows full schedule flexibility and remote work. We want you to lead our new work-family balance initiative. Gregory accepted the promotion, knowing he could be a successful professional without sacrificing his fatherhood. The company had realized that employees with family balance were more productive and creative. When he told Tyler about the promotion, the boy reacted with enthusiasm. "Daddy, does that mean you can teach other dads to take better care of their kids?" "In part, yes." "That's awesome. So more kids will have present dads like I do." Gregory realized that Tyler had perfectly understood the value of what they had experienced together. A few months later, Gregory was invited to give a talk on active fatherhood at a tech company. Tyler asked to come along. "Daddy, can I tell people what it was like when I had belly aches? Only if you feel comfortable talking about it." "I do. I think it can help other dads understand when their kids are hurting." During the talk, Gregory told their story. When he got to the part about the decision to stop working to care for Tyler, a father in the audience raised his hand. "Gregory, how did you find the courage to make such a radical change?" Gregory looked at Tyler, who was sitting in the front row. "I understood that my son was more important than my career, and that if I lost him, nothing else in my life would make sense." Another father asked, "But weren't you afraid of the financial consequences?" "I was very afraid, but I realized that the emotional cost of losing my son would be far greater than any financial cost." Tyler asked to speak, and Gregory handed him the microphone. "Hi everyone, I'm Tyler. I wanted to tell you that when my dad decided to take care of me, he didn't lose anything. He gained a happy son. And I gained the best dad in the world." The audience was moved. Several fathers came up after the talk to Gregory and Tyler. One father said, "Tyler, your dad is lucky to have a son like you." Tyler replied, "Actually, we're both lucky to have each other." On the way back home, Gregory asked, "Tyler, how did you feel speaking at the talk?" "I felt useful, like our story could help other families." "And do you think our story can really help?" "I'm sure of it, because if other dads realize that kids need presents more than money, they'll make better choices." Gregory smiled, impressed by his son's maturity. "Tyler, when you grow up, do you want to be a dad?" "Yes, I do. And I want to be a dad just like you." "What do you mean, just like me?" "A dad who isn't afraid to stop everything to take care of his kids when they need him." That night, Gregory wrote in his journal, "Today I realized that Tyler not only healed from his belly aches, he became a better person because of everything we went through. And I also became a better person. Our crisis turned us into a stronger, more united family. If I could go back in time, I would do everything exactly the same." The following weekend, Tyler organized a picnic at the park for the whole family. It was the same park where Gregory had promised to always be present in his son's life. "Dad, do you remember when you promised me here that you would always come back home?" "I remember perfectly. You kept your promise. And I'll keep keeping it for the rest of my life." Tyler pointed to Mia, who was playing on the grass with Natalie. "And are you going to make the same promise to Mia?" "I already did. And to the kids I'll have in the future." Gregory laughed. "When you have kids, I'll teach them that having a present father is the greatest treasure a child can have, because that's what I learned from you." Tyler ran off to play with Mia, but before that he turned to Gregory. "Dad, thank you for giving up everything to take care of me. Thank you for teaching me what really matters in life." As he watched Tyler play with Mia, Gregory reflected on the entire journey. Tyler's stomach aches had been a warning sign for something much bigger, the need for connection, presence, and emotional security. Gregory had learned that being a father wasn't just about providing financially, but about being emotionally available. He had learned that career and family didn't have to be mutually exclusive, but whenever there was a conflict, family should come first. Tyler had learned that difficult feelings were normal, that asking for help was brave, and that he was worthy of love and attention. He had learned that families could come in different shapes and still be full of love. Together they had learned that life's greatest treasures couldn't be bought with money. Quality time, emotional presence, mutual trust, and unconditional love. As the sun began to set, the family got ready to go home. Tyler took Gregory's hand. "Dad, this was the best day of my life." "Why?" "Because I have my whole family together and happy, and I don't feel any pain in my stomach when I think about the future." Gregory squeezed his son's hand. "Son, this was also one of the best days of my life." "Why?" "Because I saw that you've become a happy, secure, and confident child, and that's all a father could ever wish for." That night, as he put Tyler to bed, Gregory asked the same question he had asked every night since they began their healing journey. "Tyler, how do you feel?" "I feel loved, protected, and happy." "And your stomach?" "My stomach is fine, and I think it will be fine forever." Gregory kissed his son's forehead. "Good night, champ." "Good night, Dad." "Thank you for saving me." "Thank you for saving me too." Tyler fell asleep with a smile on his face, and Gregory realized that his journey as a father was just beginning, but now he knew exactly how to be the father Tyler needed. Present, attentive, loving, and brave enough to make the right choices even when they were hard. End of story. So, what did you think of Gregory and Tyler's story? It was touching to see how a father managed to transform his life to save his son's emotional health, wasn't it? Tell us in the comments, do you believe Gregory made the right decision? And if you were a father or mother, would you do the same thing? Leave your honest opinion down below. And don't forget to give that cheeky like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss other emotional stories like this one.